What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Challenge Solly, the series style YouTube channel where in each season I take on another seemingly impossible challenge. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so every Sunday you'll get the update of when our new episodes are coming out. But for now, let's dive into episode 3. I'm going to chat about why I'm doing this and how I lost so much weight so quickly. Let's go. Okay, so if this is your first Challenge Solly video, make sure to head down there, check out the link in the description of this video. I'm going to take you right to episode 1, episode 2, so you have a little bit of background about where we are in this journey. But for now, let's dive right into how I lost 30 pounds in 2 months. So if we go right back to where this all started, it's September of last year. We're currently in March. September and October, in those 2 months, I just kind of chilled, to be totally honest. I just done the first Ironman. I needed a little bit of a break. So September was really just a chill month. It took a lot of time to hang out, spend some time with more friends and family that I haven't seen for a while. And that was September. October, I decided that I'd start to pick things up a little bit. And so I added a little bit more training in. Again, just trying to ramp up the volume pretty slowly. I also decided that it was time to really take a look at the weight. So as you know from the last couple of videos, the first step to all of this was losing a bunch of weight so that I could be faster. In October, I decided to really do a bit of research on it, figure out how I wanted to approach losing weight while still being able to train, and not crash, not burn, not get injured. So October was a little bit of a learning period. The very first thing that I started with and the very first step to this entire weight loss journey was awareness. I literally just started writing down what I was eating every single day. I had a little food journal. I didn't change anything about how I was eating. I literally just wrote down everything. If it was like one chocolate chip, it was in the book. And across the entire month, the very first thing I noticed was I didn't eat, I just don't eat that well. And that was a shock because I think in general, I would have nice meals and like relatively healthy meals. It was just all the little snacks in between that I didn't recognize. So step 1 was really awareness. And through October, not only did I realize I was just eating horribly, but I clearly just needed to improve my diet quality overall. And so October was this kind of transitionary period of focusing on just changing my diet quality. I didn't really go in and start counting calories or anything yet or making it really complicated. I just started writing everything down. And I got to the point where writing an unhealthy thing down in the book hurt me on the inside because I really cared about the score, if we want to call it, at the end of the day. And so ultimately that was the first step. And I would suggest anyone that's trying to lose weight, start with that. Just get aware to how you're eating right now. So now we're in October. I'm eating a little bit healthier. I've really taken time to focus on moving and improving my diet. The second thing we were doing in October was ramping up the volume a little bit more for the training. So doing lots of strengthening exercises for the joints, mainly the knees, the ankles, the hips. I also started doing a few extra trainings a week. So at this point, probably 5 times a week I'm out training. We also started throwing in a couple longer things. So a couple longer days running, longer days biking, just to start getting used to the volume. But it was a really nice gradual increase. I think in the past when I tried to lose weight, there was always this, 0 to hero or just the cold turkey approach. And it worked for a while, but it's hard to maintain. This transition was just really slow and gradual. I just took my time, built in the kind of regularity behind working out more and more, and just changed how I was eating overall. So October hits, I'm feeling pretty good. And at this point, really the next thing is just to go to the next level. So now I've got used to eating well, to working out more. So November was when I actually started working with my coach. Before, she was monitoring what I was doing and getting a rough idea of where I was, but not actually prescribing any workouts. So November was the first week of 1, her actually prescribing my training, and 2 is when I actually started counting calories and being really, really adamant about what I was eating. So let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this. November and December hit, and now it's time to get serious. We're about 10 months away from the race day. I know I need to lose tons of weight. If anything, in the last kind of from September, from when I finished, I'd gained maybe 5 pounds just from chilling a little bit too much. And so now it's time to really go. I'm at 210 pounds, November starts. Training is easier in the sense that she just prescribes things for me. I just wake up and do it. But the biggest one was eating. And so a couple things that I did that really helped me lose the weight was, number one, I actually found a meal plan, so to speak. I did not follow it exactly. I just used it as guidance for a rough idea of what a day of 2,000 calories looked like. So I wasn't really following everything exactly. It was just a general idea of how much food I'd be eating. Now we know that I'm counting calories, losing some weight, following some meal plans as guidance. But the big kicker, I think the thing that really helped me lose tons of weight, was intermittent fasting. I'm sure people have heard of this before. The version of it that I did was just eating for 8 hours every single day. So I basically gave myself an 8-hour window that was 12 to 8 in the day, and that was the only time that I was allowed to eat. Outside of it, I would just drink water, coffee, black, or tea potentially, and that was basically it. I found that that really helped, and when I started to plateau a little bit, I really started dropping weight quickly when I added this in. I'm not an expert, I can't tell you the science behind it. I know roughly what it involves, but that's the gist of it. This is what I did, okay? The other thing that really helped was adding in some longer workouts. So on the days that I was fasted, I'd wake up without eating anything. I would go and do a really long bike ride or a really long run at a super low heart rate. So it sounds pretty torturous, but essentially if you keep your heart rate low enough in your first or second zones, you're gonna be able to run a bike for a whole long time, and your body's just gonna use fat as its main system and its main source of fuel. So I went out and did just 2-hour-long, 3-hour-long bike rides and runs while I was fasted, and that just burned. It literally just shredded through the fat. And using those different methods, I saw 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 pounds a week just really quickly. It worked really well, and I was eating enough that I could still train. I didn't feel like super exhausted. No injuries popped up, nothing really serious, and that was the gist of it. So now you know that I lost a bunch of weight quickly, but in order to do it, I really had to get obsessed. I really had to do a bunch of research, figure out exactly what I was gonna do, what the steps were gonna take, and it was a lot of work. So why even bother trying to go to Kona? What's the point in becoming obsessed and really sacrificing all my time and putting it into doing this? That is kind of a hard question to answer, as I'm sure anyone with a crazy dream could tell you. But if I had to go back to the moment that I think really sparked everything for me, we're gonna dive back to an old job with an old mentor. I was quitting the job. I didn't want to do it anymore because it had got hard. And this mentor called me out very clearly and just right to my face, saying, "You have no resilience. You can't stick things out. When things get hard, you run away and you just go to the next thing." And my ego didn't want to admit it and say, "Yes, you're totally right. That's why I'm quitting." So I didn't at the time, but within the next week, I totally agreed. So this guy calls me out, says that I have no resilience, and I 100% agree with him. I ran away from all the stuff that got really hard in my life. And so part of what really sparked this journey was realizing that I had never done anything where I felt like I had reached my full potential. I had never actually accomplished anything in my life where I could look back and say I literally gave it every ounce of my being. And that's where this whole thing started. I decided I needed a challenge that would force me to do that, and would force me to be resilient and consistent and determined, and to not give up and not dive away from everything. And a large part of why we're doing this channel and why I'm doing it all on social media is so that I'm obliged to, so that I feel like I have to do it. That, of course, was a pretty intense thing, and I would love to be inspiring and hope some people want to follow in the journey as well. But ultimately, I need to see what my limits are. And so why I'm doing this entire challenge is to see what my potential is. I've never got it. I've never been able to finish something and start crying because I'm crazy excited about the outcome, and because I literally sacrificed everything. And so this is the journey that is forcing me to do that, and is forcing me to come to terms with the fact that I don't want to do that. It's the hard road. It's a scary thing to go do. So why am I trying to get to Kona? I'm trying to figure out what my limits are, and I'm trying to push them to the ceiling and see what am I capable of when I have the perfect year. And there you have it, folks. How I lost weight, why I'm doing this crazy challenge. Thanks for coming in, thanks for watching. Make sure to come back next Sunday for episode 4. We're actually gonna be doing a little cooking show with yours truly, talking about what I'm eating every day, how I make the meals. We're just really gonna do a deep dive into my nutrition. Right now, I'm on a very specific plan, so we're gonna take a look at how all of that works. So feel free to join next Sunday. Make sure to like, throw in a comment, let me know about your own fitness journey, let me know how much weight you've lost in the last little bit. Ask me any questions that you may have. For now, stay safe, you guys. I know it's a crazy world out there right now. Make sure you're washing those hands, and we'll see you next Sunday for episode 4 of Challenge Solid. Peace.